Why do I need to track technicians? And I always say that there's two major expenses inside of a shop. There's the parts expense, purchasing parts, and then there's the expense of the labor. And there's a couple of things that you can control. You can always increase your parts markup, but the impact of that is nowhere near the impact of tech efficiency. So if you look at our ROI calculator as one example, if you go to fullbay.com and go to our ROI calculator, we provide some great insight as to how this impact turns into dollars, and it's the difference between your shop being profitable and not profitable. Well, what we're trying to do is if you bill 40 hours, or if I'm a technician and I work 40 hours, we want to bill 40 hours of my time. If I only work 30 hours and you bill 40, we're not very efficient. So the goal is to get technicians at least at 100% of standard, and by doing that, you're maximizing or optimizing every hour that they're in the shop, they're turning $1 for you. There's a number of ways to be able to do this. One, you can have two bays and the same tech working on two different trucks at the same time. You could actually go to a yard and be at a fleet and drop oil on 4 different trucks at the same time, and do that at nighttime. Instead of doing 1 oil change at a time, you can do 4 oil changes at a time, and ultimately do the 4 oil changes in the same amount of time it takes to do 2. So those are kind of some of the things that you're going to look out for, but at least what you don't want to have happen is I'm scheduled to do an oil change, or your technicians are scheduled to do an oil change, and then they're at the water cooler and they're socializing for 30 or 40 minutes of the oil change. You want them producing revenue, and that's the key. We provide software that tracks the technician, and instead of having this be something that happens after the fact, where you go meet the techs for a toolbox meeting and we sit down and review what happened last week or last month, we actually provide it in-app real time. So the technician can see how they're performing. As a service manager, a service writer, you can also look at the profitability, look at the hours contributed by the tech versus the invoiced hours, and really optimize the efficiency of your technicians. We find it's that transparency really enables you to actually achieve efficiency versus it's already too late and then you're trying to coach them on something that happened last week or last month. So that's a little bit about efficiency. Now on utilization is something totally different, where I might be an extremely efficient tech. Every time you put me on oil changes, I get them done in an hour when they should take an hour and a half, or maybe I get them done even faster. But the problem is I don't have enough work. I'm standing around all the time waiting for work. So that's often one of the things that we see with shops, is that there's so much travel time between the service writer and the bays, or the back and forth communication, or everything's on paper. With technology, Fullbay specifically, real time, we can talk to each other, and you can know as a service manager, if I'm a technician, when I'm out of work, or when I'm about to be out of work, or when I need more work, or when I need your help. I don't have to walk up to the parts counter. I don't have to walk up to the service station just to get more engagement. And ideally what that does is you utilize the tech, you're able to provide them with more work, and the utilization gets as close to 100% as possible. The reality is that if you're not tracking these metrics, you're not optimizing your techs, and every hour your techs are there, it costs you money.